Spring has arrived in eastern North Carolina, and with the arrival of warmer temperatures, we see increased activity and fire ant mounds in our pastures and hayfields. When thinking about management of fire ants on our farms, the goal of integrated pest management is to address an issue by using effective, economical, and ecologically sound methods. It is a good idea to keep in mind that a pest only needs to be controlled when the potential cost of the problem meets or exceeds the cost of the solution. This is a video from a Hereford farm taken the end of March where I was walking through some forage test plots. Even though the temperature was only 65 degrees and it was cloudy, these ants were already out and moving in the field, and this was only one of several mounds that I saw. As this farmer relies on his forage to feed his cattle and provide hay during the winter months, this may be a field worth considering to treat. Damages from fire ants can be costly to our animals, forages, and equipment, as well as to people. Generally, the cost of fire ant control is between $10 and $15 an acre. When you consider the cost of one vet bill or equipment repair bill, the cost of treating for fire ants may certainly be more economical for your operation. There are two methods of fire ant control. Individual mound treatments can provide rapid control, but it is labor-intensive, temperature-dependent, and it may be difficult to find all mounds to treat. This is a method more commonly used by homeowners for their yards. For that reason, we're going to focus on broadcast baits for this talk. Broadcast baits are 80–90% effective, control small, hard-to-detect colonies, and can be used to treat large areas that don't require immediate control. But fire ant control through broadcast baits is slower, 2 to 8 weeks depending on the product, and is also temperature dependent. Broadcast baits are food the worker ant finds and carries back to the colony where the active ingredient breaks the life cycle of the colony. Very little labor is required to broadcast bait, and ants are controlled for longer periods than with individual mound treatments. They pose very little toxic threat to people, pets, and wildlife, and there are very few environmental hazards associated with these baits. When broadcasting, use a seed spreader to broadcast the bait. They make smaller spreaders for ATVs and small tractors, as well as for the larger farm equipment. Be sure to properly calibrate your spreader to ensure correct application rates. Any extension agent can help you with that if you need. Also, don't mix the bait with fertilizers or any other products. Let's talk about the do's and don'ts of fire ant control, as improper application will lead to ineffective control and a waste of your money. Using fresh products. Do use fresh products whenever possible and shake bait containers well before using the product. Soybean oil attractants in baits can go rancid and can settle in stored containers. Don't use bait formulations that were opened several months ago, have gotten wet or moistened, or have been stored in a hot area or left in an unsealed container. Bait will not provide effective control if this happens. Reading the label. Do consult the label of the product you choose and check for info on timing of application, whether product requires watering, etc. Don't apply products without carefully reading label instructions. Many products have specialized instructions that should be followed for best results. Disturbing the mound. Do take care when applying your bait. This will ensure contact with the greatest number of ants and will not distract ants from their foraging activity. Don't disturb your mounds prior to any sort of treatment. This will alert the fire ants to danger and will decrease the likelihood of hitting the queen and most workers with insecticides. Temperature and broadcasting. Do broadcast baits when temperature is between 70 and 90 degrees after monitoring for ant activity. To see if the ants are active, you can spread potato chips a few feet away from the mound and see if the worker ants are on the move to get them. Don't broadcast baits when it is too hot or too cold. This means early spring applications may not be effective if temperatures are not yet consistent. Rain affects baiting. Do apply bait products when the ground is relatively dry. If applying in the morning, be sure that the dew is not present on the grass. Don't apply bait products right before or right after rain. Generally, if rain is expected within 24 hours or has occurred in the last 24 hours, postpone baiting applications. Give your baits time to work. Do give the foraging ants plenty of time to retrieve and distribute the baits. Delay any activity that will disturb the colonies for at least 3 days after baiting, then treat the problem mounds individually. Don't be impatient. Hydromethanon formulations will take 2 weeks or more to work, and IGRs or insect growth regulators will take up to 6 or even 8 weeks. Further applications within this time interval is wasting your money. Just a reminder, always read the label when broadcasting baits. Not all fire ant baits are labeled for pastures and/or hayfields. Some baits contain ingredients not approved for use around grazing animals, even differences between horse-safe and cattle-safe ingredients. Some baits have a waiting period before cutting hay. So again, always read your label and use caution when using your baits. Here's a chart of baits that are labeled for pastures and hayfields. While they are all safe, they still have different restrictions, so again, always read your label. The good thing about all of these products is that can be purchased from online farm supply websites and even on Amazon and delivered straight to your door so you can avoid leaving your home during our shelter in place. Finally, remember no product gives 100% overnight control or lasts forever. Unfortunately, fire ants and the damages and injuries they bring in our area are here to stay, and we will have to deal with them every year when our weather warms up. Good luck, and please feel free to contact me anytime should you have any questions or need more guidance.